Good afternoon from sunny Antalya and welcome to the first semi-finals of the Predator Turkish Open, the opening event of the 2026 Predator Euro Tour Series. So let's introduce our players. Firstly on table 2 with the women's semi-final from Ukraine, Daria Siranchuk. And her opponent, from Germany, Miriam Steiner. And on to table 1 with the men's semi-final. Will you welcome, from Poland, Radoslav BABICA. And in the opposite corner, from Germany, Luca MENN. The women's semi-finals are a race to 7 and the men a race to 9. And your referees in charge of the action on table 2, Toge Tantura, and here on table 1, Yana Banda. Players, you may lag for the break.
To the Predator Turkey Open. We've reached the semi-finals and this is a very promising match between the young against the experienced, you could say. On the right we have from Germany Luca MENN. On the left from Poland Radoslav BABICA. Now the discipline for this Euro Tour is 8-ball. It's a race to 9. Alternating the break per 2. So 2 breaks each. And in the commentary box we got Gethin Davis and myself, Tim de Ruiter. Welcome, Gethin.
Thank you, Tim. And yeah, I'm excited about this one. As you said, the young and up and coming against the very well experienced. In fact, he's been labelled Babica, the stalwart of the Polish team. So clearly brings a lot of experience to this semi-final. Not much to pick between them. And the winner of this match booking the first place in our final. The second men's semi-final will come up after this at 4:30 local time. And that one, an all-Polish affair between Wiktor Fortunski and Wojciech Szewczak. So will it be a German or a Pole that will meet a guaranteed Polish player in the final? Radoslav to break.
Yeah, well, great start. Making 2 balls. But, well, definitely some work if you would want to go for the solids. A 5-ball ended quite tough.
Yeah, good control of the cue ball has certainly helped him keep good position centre table. So he should have choices depending on which one he feels are the better option, solids or stripes. Looks like from the way he's presenting himself, he's going to go... I thought he was looking at that 3-ball then, but that wouldn't be the shot for my book. There's 14 to start with the stripes, Tim.
Oh, and that is probably the best outcome for him. And not bad, as it was the first opening shot for him.
Yeah, that 11 ball was threatening to cause him a bit of trouble, and great stuff. First opportunity, opening it up, and also getting a shot on that 11. We just saw a tough quarter-final match on our table, Tim, and both players just were struggling with their break, and it made for a very close and tight tussle, but the real strength lies in the success from the break and backing it up, and that was a pretty handy break from Radoslav there. And again, straight on to the last remaining difficult shot, you would have to say, the 9.
Yeah, this pattern makes him to shoot the 12 ball as his last ball, which is a bit unusual to get to the 8 ball just because of how low it is. He's going to draw back off this 9, play the 10 in the center.
Well, it's going to be position off the 12 for the 8. Ooh. Slow down, cue ball.
Well, suddenly this one is tricky. This is very missable. I don't think it's at the point yet where if he even hits it a bit thicker, it still slides in. I think he will have to play this super thin. Now is he going to be on the 8?
Well, he hit the 2. Distinct possibility. Was able to bring it through the gap. Ooh. I think both pockets are available. That 2 is not hampering it into the left, but he's on the 50-yard line here, Tim. He's had a look at both angles. Seems to be preferring the pocket at the bottom of our screen here. Great angle.
Yeah, what a start for the pole. Starting with a break and run. Still has another break to come, so looking for a very classy start. As I mentioned, I mean, 2 completely different styles, I would say, Luca and BABICA. I think BABICA is really well at doing not so much work. So he can play the game so simple to where his technique doesn't have to be so good. Now, Luca, very clever 8-ball player, but can also do a bit more, I think, with the technique he has. So, 2 different styles. In the end, it doesn't matter with 8-ball as long as you keep everything under control. You could say you barely need any technique, but, well, that would be a bit too much, but...
Well, something that I've been noticing throughout this 8-ball Euro Tour is the break, especially with this 2 break per player alternate format. The first player that really gets the break nailed and can just pop a few break and runs in really does turn the screw and put the pressure on the opponent. Radoslav got off to the best start here. Can he back it up with a second?
Well, definitely on his way for a second, because this time he's got either the 4 hanging over the corner, or I believe he does have a stripe into the center. First look at the table. No clusters. The 3 or the 6 does not go to the bottom left.
Yeah, and it looks like the only real stripe to consider for getting the account off will be the 11. Don't know if that will allow Rado to get down the table straight away.
Yeah, I gotta say, bit surprised he didn't really do much more on the 4 ball. Maybe to run into the 6 or maybe run into the 12. You know, just to clean things up a little bit. But maybe he can stop the cue on the 3 and use the 7 in the right center to go 2, 3 rails to the left side of the 6. That or maybe off the 5.
Yeah, he's keeping good cue ball, and that's allowing him to keep his options open just in case there's a slight roll one way or the other from the angle he wants. And this is, as you said, concise pool. Straight away coming down for the 6 by the looks of it. And then could be a 7, 2, 8. Looks pretty straight on that, Tim. Just float through a few ball rolls to pick up that 7 in the side pocket, perhaps. You have to say, Tim, he's looking very calm and composed.
Yeah. Did play the puzzle right though. If you look at how he's landed on the 2, just topspin. It's gonna bring him straight down for the 8 in the bottom right. And that would make him start with 2 breaker runs to this race to 9. Well, did play a little bit of inside spin on that Geth and a bit more awkward onto the 8.
Yeah, and You'd still fancy him for it, Tim. But you could just see the bounce it took off the short rail with the pace that it had. It was just going to run a little bit too far. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Well, there was always a threat of that, Tim. But I did not expect him to make the scratch. And that will be end of rack. One apiece. That's a bit of a shocker, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a bit surprised he actually got that close with the cue ball to the scratch. Should have always played that with, well, I would probably like to play that with outside spin. Just plenty to always get past the side.
Oh.
I mean, some players, they like to play that with a trace of inside or a trace of outside. It looked like he barely put any spin on there, so bit of a sloppy mistake. Leaves the door open for Luca to kick it in. 2 breaker runs could bring him a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, absolutely. What a difference that scratch could make. Although it is early doors. We are now race to 9 in the double elimination bracket. It was race to 7s. So there is a little bit more wriggle room in these race to 9s. But our first chance to get to see Luca MENN breaking off. Been sat in his chair since the lag. Oh, that cue ball. How did that not drop? And look at the clusters that are left him.
Yeah, I gotta say, in general, I thought before the match I was gonna say Luca MENN here, probably the best breaker of the two. But that break was a bit loose. Of course, it's the semi-final of the EUROTOUR. Maybe the pressure a bit higher. Can expect both to start to struggle, obviously. Oh, he's gonna play a safety, roll up on the 12.
Well, that will work. It's made that cluster a little bit heavier. But yeah, I'm also feeling, I don't know if you noticed in the close-up of BABICA, it was a bit shaky. There's a big moment, semi-finals, the EuroTour, so I fully get it. But considering he had made 2 very, very promising breaks, which will bode well for him if he can keep that consistency through the match. And yeah, as you pointed out, Luca MENN just a little bit wild on that one. Fully expect with a bit of table time for that just to all settle a bit more. We could be in this situation for a little bit longer, Tim.
Well, I don't think Luca can play the same shot again without giving up either the 3-ball or something up table. But I mean, if the 3-ball goes by the 12 in the top left, could also, I mean, it's still open table, so could go very aggressive. 15-4 combination, maybe 9-14 combination. But on the other side, if you look at the 10, if you can get onto the 15, oh, that was such a tough shot to play. You could see how small the pocket really was. See, get on the 15, you can split them right up.
Oh, I wasn't far away, but yeah, not much of a pocket to aim for there. No. Luca's taken stripes, so clearly that 3 appears to be hampered by the 12. But now he's got that cluster of 4 balls to have to deal with, Tim. Can he go in now?
Yeah, he is going into it now.
Not really been left with too much here. Called a 9. Nice shot jacked up. The 2 still sitting on that long rail. Does have an open pocket to the top left.
Yeah, I have to say that split definitely could have landed a little better overall. He's gonna try and draw himself onto the 14. And he's come up short. So he might have to take on the 12. And then low left spin and try to get on the 14 again. But that shape is just super tough with where the 6 ball is laying.
Yeah, he's just looking if he can play it a little bit harder and come long rail, maybe underneath the 6 for the long 14, but no. He's taken a different route here, Tim. Or is he? I do like the 12 and coming back across 2 rails underneath the 10 and the 14. How's the pace? Not bad at all.
Yeah, maybe a bit straighter onto this 10. I don't think the 8 goes in the top right or in the right center. So that means he might have to draw back all the way to play the 8 in the bottom right. So a bit more distance, could fall off angle. Not done yet.
And after the first shot he played to develop the cluster, I actually thought he'd put himself back in trouble and was not going to continue. But jacked up on that 9. And now look at what he's left with. This shot on the 8. Thumps it in, Tim, authoritatively. And gets the lead with 1 more of his breaks remaining. And technically, that was a very nice clearance he made there, Tim.
Yeah, he's looking to make a difference in this match. He's now has stolen one of the racks on BABICA's break. And then now he's 1 out of 2. 1 more breaker run gives him the lead. And in that case, you could say BABICA did lose the original initiative of winning the leg. cue ball straight off the table. I have to say, both players not up to par yet, Gath. I mean, not what you would be expecting from them.
No,
a chance to go 2 each.
Well, you touched on it earlier. We can't forget this is the semi-finals. Only 2 matches being played right now. We have one of the ladies' semi-finals on our other stream table. Looks like Miriam Steiner's 2-1 up against the Ukrainian Daria Saranchuk there. And yet, a little bit of nerves still, perhaps. I still feel that BABICA set his stall out a bit better with his break and, well, his opening break and run certainly. Nearly backed it up with a second. I do feel that he should be the more settled of the two. Luca should be a little bit worried with what's going on with his break. And 4 onto the 2 to bring the cue ball down underneath here. What are we thinking about that 8 ball, Tim? Top left?
No, I don't. Well, yeah, unless it goes to the bottom right, but it's either top left or bottom right for the 8 indeed. It's got 2 solids still to pick up down table, so indeed the most logical option indeed would be the 8 in the top left. But that also means he will land just perfect now to drop down and get straight enough on the 1 ball. Oh.
Ooh. Second time that's happened, it's just come down a bit low. And he'll need to come back around this side to put the 1 in the same pocket if he takes the 7 on. Just wondering if that means there's value in playing the combination even. Unless he can play safe underneath that lonely stripe at the bottom of the table. He was asking a bit too much there, Tim, I think. Maybe felt that was the only option.
Yeah, if you looked at the cue ball, I had to do so much with the cue ball to even have a chance. Now, is he just gonna cross over to the 13 and then play the 12 all the way in the top left? Or can he maybe give a nudge onto the 8, 12 now and still slide off it to be on the 13? Must be the top left.
Yeah, not a bad option. As long as he's just to the right side of it, he wouldn't run into the 8 and can just float through for the 10 to get good angle to pop it off the long rail. Now he's going to run into the 8 a little bit, you feel. And that might make this shot a bit more treacherous. Ooh. Any more power in that, and that might not have swallowed up.
Yeah, as we mentioned, both players must be quite nervous, still settling down into this match. But now if he can get the job done. 3-1 lead. Definitely is going to make him more comfortable around the table.
Yeah, and Luca already picking up a bronze medal last week in the European Championships. He picked that one up in the straight event and was a great performance. Looking to build on that in this semi-final now, and has built on that score-wise, 3-1. Now the break will go back to Rado, and I have to say, I'm liking his breaking at the moment. He's just running a little bit long on the odd shot, and he's paying severe consequences for it, Tim.
Yeah, I agree completely. They put themselves perfect onto the 8 though, by the way. So definitely had the pace of the table. Oh, are we... Oh, a very early timeout has called by Radoslav BABICA. So that means we're gonna go nip out for a little break as well. Gethin Davis and myself, Tim de Ruiter, we're gonna take a short break. And then we'll be right back with BABICA to break the balls, the next 2 racks.
Well, a warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this thrilling encounter of a semi-final between Radoslav BABICA and Luca MENN. Luca MENN taking a 3-1 lead, a very useful lead indeed. Radoslav back to start his next round of 2 breaks. My name's Gethin Davis. Joining me back in the box for this exciting encounter, Tim de Ruyter. Welcome back, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Geth. And just wondering, we've only had 4 racks of play, and yet we've already seen a timeout. So that's quite interesting. "35 minutes of play, but probably just wanted to be at his sharpest because he has the 2 breaks now. And imagine if he loses these 2 breaks, the next time he could be back at the table could be 7-1. So probably the right moment to take the break. Just the timing a bit different with the 2 breaks or 2, well, alternate breaks in a row. And he doesn't really stop the cue ball near the center of the table, which is always going to give him a more difficult shot after the break. Has to take on a long one now.
Well, makes it very well. And now has shape on the 15. Don't think he can see back up the table for the 13. But again, I have to back up what I said earlier. The side of the cue ball control on this one, I do feel Radoslav is having the better of the breaks at the moment and needs to take advantage of it because, well, look at the scoreline. You wouldn't take from that scoreline that he's getting the better of the breaks. So it does need to start converting them now.
Yeah, a bit of a tricky one this. I'd like to play top left, but actually the angle going forward puts him behind the 4 ball technically. Now, off this 9, it's not so easy to get to the top side of the 10 or the 11.
I was going to say, could he draw in deep with a bit of right hand effect, but clearly doesn't feel it. It's going down for the 13, pots it well, gets the cue ball back across the table. I thought he was going to run into trouble there. Great recovery shot, you have to say.
Yeah, I really had to pinch the ball to get enough speed on the cue ball to come 2 rails out. As you did see, he did get pretty close to the 4, so he couldn't really have played it any better than he has.
Oh, also has the 10 to side pocket available. The 6 is not covering it. That helps. Love the overhead.
That means we will see BABICA get his first break run for these 2 breaks, and I think it's an important one too. You know, as long as he wins 1 out of the 2 the whole time, he will stay close. Obviously, does prefer to go for 2.
Yeah, and arguably, Tim, he had a great opportunity to get break and runs off both of his opening breaks. Only the first one was successful. Just ran out of position for the second time. And for his second round of breaks, he opens up with a break and run. So still keeping his neck in front when it comes to the break-off, but the scoreline just not reacting in the same way. And over on the other table, you may have seen during the timeout, we have one of the women's semi-finals underway. Daria Saranchuk from Ukraine trailing 1-2 against Miriam Steiner. Miriam already picking up European team champion accolade with Ina Kaplan last week, here at the same venue but in the European Championships. And the winner of that will face either Monika Zabek or Yasmin Ushan in the final. The semi-final for them will take place after these semi-finals have concluded. So Radoslav BABICA trailing 3-2 with the second of his 2 breaks, looking to bring the score back all square.
Well, there you go. 3 balls in. Just some work with the 7, 9 and the 10, but I mean, he definitely has enough space on the table now with just 12 balls in play. Gotta say, not much of a nice starter on the stripes.
No, that might affect his decision making here. He would probably be forced to go for the 11 if he wants to go stripes. That could allow him to draw the cue ball through the gap of the 14 and the 7.
Yeah, I see 2 options. Either play the 11, maybe stun into the 7 ball, pushing the 9 and the 10 just slightly open up and be on the 12. Or go for the solids and get onto that 7 ball right now off this 4 ball. Or maybe even 4 and from the 6 ball cross over to the 7. But you have to stay a little bit at the bottom. You need the angle on the 7 to run away from the 2 balls that are laying next to it.
Play that nicely. Played that very nicely, Tim, and more importantly, came back out across the line of the 7, so now can draw up table, making a beeline for the 1 ball, you feel. And I have to say, what a difference this scoreline could have been if Radoslav had broken run his second. I think that would have just asked a big question from Luca. This may still ask that very question. However, the scoreline will only be back to 3 apiece, as opposed to off of his opening, he could have been 2-0 up. So, this 2 break per player format, keeping it very interesting for us at home. Was very... That's probably the one shot that you don't mind overrunning. He's underrun.
Yeah, I think he's just okay though, 50-yard line. Could play this with a lot of left spin to go 2 rails back to the center of the table.
Well, it dropped. Still feeling there's a little bit of nerve still in BABICA. Makes it, Tim. Makes it. And I do mention he looks slightly nervous, although I will say he did make it to the runner-up stage at the Costa del Sol Open a little while back. So is no stranger to getting to this point in big tournaments. And he took them very nicely, Tim, you have to say. Not a bad time to make another break and run in this semi-final. Also, just useful to note, the winner of this match will either meet Viktor Fortunsky or Wojciech Szewczak. Their semi-final will kick off at 4:30 local time. Both women's and men's semi-final will be streamed live on Pro Billiard TV. If you are enjoying the stream, please do like, share and subscribe. And once you've subscribed, you can set notifications for this and future events. Luca, MENN, with his first of his 2 breaks, all tied up at 3 apiece, race to 9.
Yeah, will be very sad days coming soon. We won't have any events for 2 weeks long. I mean, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with my life.
No, absolutely. I think we then kick back in with, we have St. Louis at the end of March, but beginning of April, we also have an EPBF event in Sweden. So you will be spoilt for choice. But yeah, this will be probably one of the longest times off we've had for a while, Tim. Might be time to put our pool cues together.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
So, this could... Oh, the cue ball. I was about to say, this could be a great opportunity for Radoslav here. Dry break from Luca. Cue ball's just run on a bit further than he'd hoped, though. Still has the 3 if he wants it.
Oh, try to hold too much. Not capitalizing on that dry break.
Did he have his extension there, Tim? He just seemed to be bothered by the clock. I noticed when down on the shot he was moving left, right. He did a similar one on his penultimate shot in the last rack. Sort of making his decision up once he'd got down to the shot, and I'm not a big fan of that myself. I did watch him look back over his shoulder at the shot clock as it beeped. I'm just maybe something that Radoslav isn't as used to. But it brings Luca back to the table.
Well, I mean, I'm quite sure most of the players or most of the athletes on the Euro Tour, they will agree with me. Radoslav BABICA is not a very fast player in general. So, yeah, if you would have to point out one of the flaws in his game, would probably be the fact that under the shot clock, he kind of needs to speed up. Which, I mean, it's not always everybody's comfort zone to play that kind of style. So, could very definitely be one of the struggles this match.
Oh, has he played on for that 11? That's not a bad positional shot, if so.
Is he gonna play the 10?
Oh.
But, you know, I'm just wondering, even if he had made a hit on the 10 ball doesn't go by the 3. So he would have only pushed it more that direction. Not actually sure about what he's just played. Oh. Well, can he play a safety? Do you think he can play the 9 into the 3 ball and maybe hold the cue ball still near the 8? It's close, but the cue ball is on the rail.
He's not even glanced at that 9 ball, just making a beeline for the 12 at the moment. And that is not good enough. Always felt like he was chasing it a bit there. And I'm in agreement with you. I'm not too sure there was any value in trying to play for into that 10 ball. I even fancied him playing the combination onto the 3 with the hope that it would follow it in, but it doesn't matter now. Radoslav may be slightly surprised to be back at the table. Nevertheless, he's back at the table.
Guess who's back? Back again. But indeed,
BABICA.
but indeed, it's surprising. The only thing, I kind of like to take the 2 ball as soon as possible, just to open up the bottom left corner for the 6. Could play the 4 into the 3 ball now. Or is the 4 ball blocked? No, right?
I'm going to say no. But this would suggest maybe, unless he fancies the position from the 3 onto the 4.
Well, I gotta say, he's landed on the 1 ball right now. Definitely one of those balls that are not so easy to get on. I really like him to take on the 1 ball now. Could be 1, 2, 4. Play the 6 just softly into the center. And you should always have something on the 8 ball.
Ooh, he stayed down on that. I thought he felt he'd hit it a bit thick, or rather to the outside. It's dropped. Shape on the 3, on the 2. Oh. Oh, it's tight. Tim, it's tight.
Yeah, just enough. But also every little piece that cue ball goes forward, backwards, to the side makes the 6 ball more difficult. Ideally, put yourself straight.
Stop shot into these side pockets. Needs to be precise.
Oh. Wow, how hard How hard was he trying to make that ball?
I don't know, and I really don't understand why. Looked like he'd potted it as well, played it perfect, but just the pace. Look where the 6 has landed. Puts his hand up to his opponent.
Oh, I mean, I don't know why you would say sorry. I mean, you should be happy to get back to the table because BABICA should have never missed that 6 ball. I mean, could still play a safety though. Just step the 10 ball over the bottom left corner. Well, I like to put the 10 ball in front of the corner. And the reason why so is now, if BABICA makes a hit on the 6, he can always leave a very long shot for Luca to take on. Maybe a very difficult shot. But if you put that 10 ball in front of the hole, well, how is he going to defend himself? How is he going to guard himself against that? You eliminate a bit of luck.
The 6 could track towards the left corner pocket here. He didn't call it. Or if he did, it was quiet, and that is a thin one on the 9, but I fancy him attacking this. Oh, he's fancying the 10 instead. Must be quite thin down there then. You have to say, Tim, a great opportunity missed by Radoslav here. Really could have done with taking the lead at this point. This 8 ball, for it to go the other way, and it has. Luca MENN now facing a scoreline 4-3 up. And the second of his 2 breaks to come, Tim. When we just take a look over at the ladies, we have the first of their semi-finals underway as well. The winner of which will take on either Monika Sebek or Yasmin Ushan, and it looks like Miriam Steiner is up 4-1 against the Ukrainian in that match. We'll keep you updated to the scores as they come up. And, well, Tim, bringing it back to our match, Rado is, in my view, breaking quite a bit better than his opponent. More importantly, he's had enough opportunities to really have stolen a march in this match. However, it's not turned out that way for him. And Luca MENN finds himself now in the lead with the second of his 2 breaks. Could extend it by 2 here and put the pressure on his opponent.
Yeah, but I completely agree with what you just said. For Luca to get away with that last track must feel like a relief, and now has found something on the break at least. Making 2 balls, and oh, look at this. It's either the stripes laying just on the outsides of the table, or you take the solids and you've got everything in the center where you cannot really land wrong. Yeah, I wanted a little bit of angle to stun to the left for the 14 into the center. Might have to take the 12. Could still play 12, go off the 9, back 2 rails to the 13. And then use the 14 to get to the 8. So a change of plans. Or even just stop left spin, maybe better. Just to stick to the right long rail. No.
Looking to improvise.
Well, I'm glad he took that Predator bridge out.
Oh, I've just come up enough. Has that just come up enough? What does the German's face tell us?
Well, that's a no.
Just couldn't turn that cue ball enough, Tim. The cue ball has rested up against the long rail. A little flick of the head from BABICA there. Not really. Is there really? It didn't look like there was an obvious opener. If that 6 does pass the 4, then I would suggest that's the way to go. Because if he can find an opener, Tim, they're in pretty nice position all down here. You mustn't be able to see the 6. Going safe. That is safe. Full ball cover on both. I don't mind that if he felt there was no real easy opener on. Let's see how Luca is with the jump stick here. Well,
Yeah, not enough. How did he hit that so thin as well? Yeah, BABICA, I don't think he's actually landed on something nice. Well, he's got the 3 over the side. He's got to go. I didn't see the 3 ball. I was going to say, could always play another safety. That's the luck or the position you get when your opponent doesn't finish their run. Four and the 1 ball. Kind of odd position though. Doesn't go to the top right.
yeah, it does look a little gnarly there. Maybe if he comes underneath it, he can play the cut into the side pocket on the 1, but your guess would be as good as mine as to where the 4 will go after that. You still feel he's not out of the woods yet. Coming across to the left, that 6 does go to the top right, but the 8 is blocking it to the side pocket. So just jacking a bit up on this 7. Now, maybe he might even have an option on the 2, but certainly can attack the 1 if he wants to now. If the 2's on, he might be able to develop the 1 and 4.
Yeah, couldn't really do much more with the cue ball, but definitely wanted to make sure the 4 doesn't stay either near the 14 or actually together with the 14. That's what, hence the pace he played on the cue ball. Now, I have to say, both gentlemen are making this quite the grind. Ooh, that was a very, very pokey stroke. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. He does give you that little sense now and again. There's this anticipation as well.
Yeah, perfect cue ball again, though.
Oh, this could keep this match so close. Players' breaks. Going break and run sometimes, going completely against them. The scoreline not really separating by much at all throughout this match so far. And he dealt with that too nicely as well, Tim.
Yeah, looking to tie things up at 4. We're now over an hour of play. We already had 1 timeout though, so that does help in the time, obviously.
Well, I did notice that Luca left the table as well during that timeout. Does that mean that he's taken his as well? Or are you allowed to exit on your opponent's timeout as well? It's one that's always been...
No. If you have to be officially, you have to stay in your chair. But I was thinking maybe he went over to grab some water or... Like, I mean, they're not gonna tell you no if you are gonna get a cup of water, obviously. But no, if you would leave for the restroom break, for example, then that will be your timeout.
Well, there may be one more timeout to come. And if Radoslav now can start getting a little bit of magic happening on top of the good breaks he's been making, well, this could be his opportunity to start making a mark. We're back to all square, or at least how it started, all level with Rado to break.
Yeah, I only wanted to add the website, the EPBF.com website, does say only BABICA has taken his time out, so Luca still has it. Yeah, nice little pop on the break. Now, look at the solids. Oh, these are the ones.
He should be very happy with that, Tim. Very happy indeed, and continuing his great form of breaking. This must be what's contributed to him getting to the semi-final today. Very strong.
Yeah, I feel like could take the 6 ball right now. He looks like he's gonna take the 1 or the 3 first. Not sure if he can still play the 6 by the 2. In that case, I don't mind leaving it there. If the 6 doesn't go by the 2, I would love to take it right now.
He may have been playing around for the 6 there and just come up a bit short as to his expectations. Down the table to pick off the 5. Might be looking for the 4 after this.
Yeah, so many ways he could get to the run out in this rack. The ball's just laying so well. Yeah, 6 ball doesn't go into the center, so that's definitely one of those balls not a big fan of, but he could play the 2, 6, 1, 7 and then to the 8.
He's been looking to get this awkward 6 put to bed. He's going to do that now. Pop the cue ball back out. So far, very effective for BABICA.
Yeah, I think it's interesting actually how he's left the 2 ball over the side pocket to get to the 8 ball. Not seeing that much value because the 8 to the side is still a little bit of work to get on from this 2.
Yeah, I have to say, Tim, I agreed.
Yeah.
Playing for the 8 off that 7 ball, and I've got rid of this 2 before.
I mean, nothing he won't be able to handle. He can still drop this in, but the cue ball is running 1 rail towards the 9. So rather be too short than too far, but then you'll have to play a bigger cut on the 8. But I made that sound very dramatic. He just stepped it in and got onto the 8, so he's gonna take his first lead of the match. BABICA.
He doesn't need to play this with any venom. He still did though, Tim.
Yeah, he missed the 6 ball earlier, just like that. So I feel like it would make you a bit uncomfortable. But he just wants to put a good tap on the ball at least. Everybody's got their preference, of course. With the side pockets on these arc tables, we've seen a lot of balls going wrong at the higher pace.
Quick update while our referee Boyana Banda racks the balls for our players. Over on the other table, we have the first of the women's semi-finals underway. It's a race to 7. Miriam Steiner of Germany is 5-2 up on Daria Saranchuk. So currently in pole position for the German. The winner of that will take on the winner of the other semi-final, a matchup between Monika Zabek and Yasmin Ushan. And that will be kicking off at 4:30 local time, as will our remaining men's semi-final as well. And that's Viktor Fortunski, Wojciech Szewczak, all Polish matchup. And another fellow countryman here, taking on Luca MENN, leading 5 racks to 4. This is his second of his 2 breaks. Be a very useful one to break and run again.
Yeah, that same little pop. And this time I like how nicely that cue ball is in the center of the table. I do believe he's got like 4 balls over the side pocket. Nicely available. Did all the stripes go well? Well, maybe the 8th ball. I don't think the 8 does go to the bottom left or the bottom right. But he does like the stripe because the 4 ball's blocked by the 12 in the bottom right. So we'll have to find a way to do something with the 8 ball.
He's checking every ball to see what path it does have. I have to say I do like the stripes as well. I also do like the 14 as being my key ball, if it must, to be able to play the 8 into maybe one of the side pockets. And let's see how Radoslav will take these on now.
Yeah, I gotta say, with the 5 stripes he has near the side pocket, I like to take the 12. Take a bit of a calculated risk. Could go into the 7. Could go into the 8. Perfect. Well, he's blocked the 11 ball now in the bottom left. So in that case, that's not gonna be great. But I think if he plays the 13, bumps the 15, then he still has a small angle on the 10 to drop in between the 11. Oh, I like this better. Nicely spotted.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. The 13 will push up onto the 15, but every chance that there are options. That's not worked out too badly at all, Tim, and he's left the 14 perhaps as his key ball, because there was an option to play onto that from this 11. I do miss our statistics man, Michael Salmon. I would love for him just to bring up a few of the stats in this match, because this gentleman has made quite a few break and runs in this match. He's shaping up to have another one here as well. Did you have a look at that 8 ball now? Does it pass to the bottom right?
No, I don't think it does go to the bottom right. I think he's bumped the 7 ball earlier, just to make sure it does go to the bottom left.
Well, that's the angle to come back across. Needs to make sure of this pot. Would be unfortunate not to get shape on the 8. Tim.
Yeah, 6-4 coming up. Now, I think it is Luca's next 2 breaks. Let's see, are we gonna see him take a timeout? Maybe try to come back at his sharpest? Or does he feel comfortable enough? Because slowly we are getting to crunch time. Technically the most important phase of the match. Because you can start so well, but if the wheels come off near the end, I just feel like you're never going to be able to win a match. So I'd rather start poor and finish well than the other way around.
Well, we talk about missed opportunities. I have it down now at 4 break and runs. I may be wrong, that might even be 5. But what a way to get the scoreline back. Not only in your favour, but now 2 in the lead. And if there was ever a time to ask questions of Luca Menn's breaking, this would be the time. His last break, much more promising than all the ones that had gone before it. And let's see what this young German can do. You see from the replay, Tim, ball flying in the side pocket, and the 14 likewise in the other side pocket at the table. Options. I kind of like them both. Maybe the spots are jumping out, the solids are jumping out at me a little bit more.
Yeah, but
on the table.
I mean, I think there's no balls really blocking each other. Just the 6 doesn't go by the 11. I think anything else is just fine. Just have the 7 at the top side of the table to get to the 5 ball, and then from the 5 to the 4 ball.
Thought he may take the 2 into the side pocket. Maybe he'll do that now after this 1 ball. But that 2 will be next on his radar to get out the way.
Yeah, nice call. Could also play 2, 4, 7, and then from the 5 down table. I was just gonna say, would it be nice if he can play a nudge onto the 8? Because the 8 was in a bit of a position where it didn't go in the bottom right, didn't go in the right center pocket. So he's giving himself a little bit more here. He's going forward to leave himself something on the 7. I would kind of think drawing back, maybe half a diamond would be nicer. Get straighter on the 7. On the other side, he could also play the 5. It's not like a must to go 7, 5, 8.
Well, you mentioned game of two halves. You'd rather have a bit of a slow start and a strong finish. He's come out of his chair here, looking the best he's looked in the match so far, in my opinion. And is that what a decent break can give this young man?
Well, everything comes and goes. I mean, the break is just so huge, especially at this level. You know, both gentlemen definitely able to, what is it, get to 6 or 7 breaker runs in a match of race to 9 8 ball. I just feel like if the break is working, there's more rhythm, the players will get into stroke. But now I kind of felt like in the beginning of the match, both of them, they really were not in stroke at all.
Well, if it's Luca's time to just find his mojo and rhythm, wouldn't be a bad time to find it. Certainly looked really strong in that rack, as much as a, you know what, I've got to do something now, I'm going to do it. And he made it happen. He will have this break as well, and the chance to bring the scoreline back to 6 apiece. However, if Radoslav is able just to pinch this one, if there is a mistake to come from Luca, it's going to be a big hill for him to climb with Rado getting back to the table for his 2 breaks, Tim. So this could be a very crucial rack for the young German.
Yeah, makes one. Does he get something? Well, he at least has a shot on the stripe yellow, which they call the 9 ball.
I think it's useful to make that call now and again, Tim. It can be difficult to pick up. And I don't think we have numbers on the balls now. We just have Predator logos on the Arcos IIs.
No, there's one number.
I can see a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just see it.
No, that would be brutal.
Yeah. Now, does he want to go solids? Is that what's causing him the issue here?
I'm assuming so, because the 14 maybe is tied up, but I don't see a reason why. I mean, you could go either way. You've got 2 stripes next to the 14 to work with. Don't think it's such a big thing, but definitely has taken his time out there.
Well, he turned down the 5. I'm just wondering if he felt that was going to get him somewhere near the 4. It hasn't. You know he'll want to try and develop it sooner rather than later. As you can see from this angle, it was just about touching. Has played that very well, and now that's opened up the 4 and perhaps this 12th rack for him.
Yeah, still would like to get to the 2 ball as soon as possible. I think he's going forward to play the 7 in the center. Kind of felt like 6-2, 7-5, 4-8 was nice, but then again, you can go forward off the 7, forward off the 2 to be on the 4, straight in on the 6, and the 6 connects to the 8 in the opposite center. So this is to make 6 each. This should be 6 each. And that would make this a race to 3 for a place in the final.
I love the build-up, Tim. It is perfect. Perfect timing, perfect call. Somehow, something in me just makes me feel this is a must-win rack for Luca, especially the way Rado Radoslav picked off them last two of his break. And this will be 6-6. We will be down to a race to 3. It's going to be exciting. Radoslav has no timeout to call here. I'm not too sure he needs to either. His breaks have been serving him very, very well. As we mentioned, the winner of this will book their place in the final, and they will take on either one of the Polish semi-finalists on the other table, Viktor Fortunski and Wojciech Szewczak. Their match will kick off 4:30 local time. It's an hour and a half from now. We also have the women's semi-finals going on in the background there. Miriam Steiner of Germany on the hill, 6-3 up on the Ukrainian Daria Saranchuk. The winner of that will take on Monika Zabek or Yasmin Ushan. Their match will kick off at the same time as the men's semi-final. And it just looks like Luca has taken this opportunity for a break. Our referee, Bojana Banda, cleaning the balls. Myself, Gethin Davis and Tim Denouter will just take a short break, and we'll be right back with you for the closing race to 3 in this actual race to 9 semi-final matchup. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you. Well, a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this thrilling climax of a semi-final matchup between Radoslav Babica and Luca MENN. And let me tell you, the scoreline locked at 6 apiece. Radoslav to take his first of his next set of 2 breaks. My name's Gethin Davis. Pleasure to be joined back in the box with Tim Denouter. Oh, hold on tight, Tim.
Yeah, these next 2 breaks could very well put one of the 2 players on the hill first. Which one is it gonna be? The Pole or the German? Yeah, there's that nice pop again. And look at this. And this is one of the things, Geth. The cue ball all the way back to the short rail sometimes is not going to give you any choice. But now, at this crucial moment, I think the balls have favored him a bit. Because a stripe and a solid have come available over the top right corner. which gives him plenty more options to still pick.
Yeah, and there's 3 solids that have lined up down underneath the 8. I believe they've all got a line to that bottom right pocket. It's really going to be a case of which one between the 3 or the 11 does he fancy? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I did like the stripes. Just gotta make sure he lands on the 11 for the top right corner, but can use the 12 to go there. Could also actually go off the 13 right now, play the 11 in the same center as the 12.
Yeah, I did like that shot, Tim. I also thought that there was a shot he could play to come around the back of the 3 to play the 11 in the top right with the 12 as backup. He's got a different idea though. May have to be off the 12 as you suggested. It's come a little bit halfway for either of the 2 into the side pockets. Probably going to come down and pick off, I think it was the 15. Is it down into the bottom right? Yeah. He's still got a little bit of work to do here, Tim. It's not a foregone conclusion, this rack for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised he's waited so long to get onto the 11.
Oh, has he got the shape now? And if he hasn't, does he have to run into them? He will have the 13 for backup. I'm talking about playing off the 12 here, Tim.
Oh, yeah, has to. No other way on for him to get onto the 11. Oh, but wanted to catch that full. And we're gonna have to see a big cut onto the 11.
Oh, Tim. As you said, needed to hit that full in the face. He is going to take this cut on this 11, Tim. But what a difficult shot now he's left himself with. Oh, he took it on in the side pocket and that wasn't far away at all. Oh my.
Yeah, but so tough. I mean, he's actually put a really decent try on that, but just a little bit too much space, and I just cannot imagine him taking that on, honestly. So tough.
What a flip. What a flip around. If Luca can now steal this one from the jaws, he will in the very worst, come back with his break, either tying up 7 apiece or possibly even on the hill. This could be a big turning point.
Oh, this is way too pacey though. Uh-oh. Just to take on the big cut now on the 1. I don't think he's in the position to play a safety.
I don't think he can even see to be able to do anything off the 2, even if he wanted to. Oh, big cut on the 1. The cue ball is going to be travelling, Tim.
Yeah, he does pull it off.
Can even use the blue 2 into the side rail now, side pocket to come back around to get better position on this 4 and 5, just like that. And that's pretty much perfect. I just noticed Miriam Steiner breaking in the background, Tim. That means that match is still ongoing. She was on the hill 6-4. Daria Saranchuk bringing that back to 6-5. Getting exciting in our first of the women's semi-finals as well. Great stuff. This 8-ball for a very useful break of Radoslav's serve stroke break, and now finds himself in the lead. The Polish player will come back for the second of his 2 breaks, but you feel it's starting just to slip away if he were to not get a point from his next break. And I did like the way you explained to me with our good colleague Mark White in regards to how important the lag can be, in the sense of getting the first 2 breaks and being able to really put the pressure on your opponent's break. But this format with 2 breaks per player, it feels like it can be just that bit more brutal to the opponent when it does go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with this 2 breaks each, alternate break, the momentums are just a little bigger than when it's just regular alternate break. So it could be now one mistake could be a 3-game swing, maybe even more. Could be 3 or 4 racks technically. Feel like Babica needs a run out.
Oh. Better cue ball this time, Tim, and well, making balls again. I do have him down for 4 break and runs. Another would be perfect for him here.
Yeah, it would be nice to know if the 3 And, well, I'm not too sure what actually was laying with the 3 ball. If both of those balls go to the bottom left, the 3 and the 15, that's important.
Ooh, don't think the 15 does, and I'm not too sure that will allow the 3 to go either. That could be, should be something that needs dealing with. With the 10 gone, the 15 may go all the way up into the top right corner.
He could play a bit more risk. Use the 12, run into the 3 ball with the 10 technically over the corner, but he's played directly into it. That works as well. What a shot he's played there. Some great 8 ball by both these gents. And I mean, it's always, in my opinion, I think it's easier to make a run out, or break a run, than to be able to steal a rack from your opponent, because your opponent gets their first break, probably can already pick the solids or the stripes. They can have clustered up things, they can have made such a mess, and you might miss 3 balls in their rack. But at the end of the day, if you break the balls and you still have the option, you can still pick what side. I think the odds are just a bit higher for him.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way of looking at it. And very, very relevant.
It will be interesting. Is he going to play a little bit of a bump onto the 3 ball to open up the 8 also for the bottom left? No. That means you will still need the perfect pace to get onto the 8 in the bottom right corner. As you can see, obviously the 2 ball a bit of a annoying ball to be there, blocking most of the area.
Yeah, nicely done. Electing not to move the cue ball too much. Can maybe draw back from the 9 into the side pocket. Would want to draw back just a bit over the line of the 14. He's got a bit of a love-hate relationship with these side pockets at the moment, Tim.
Well, he has been pounding them into the sides too. Oh, and he's landed straight on the 14. He might have to just roll this in and take a long 8 ball. This is tricky. This can go wrong. Any mistake from BABICA will put Luca on the hill.
You have to say, Tim, bumping that 3 might not have been a bad option when he had the chance to do it. I can understand steering clear of it. But now he's forced to have to come onto the left side of the 8. Ho ho ho. Will it be 7 apiece after this shot? Or will Luca MENN get back to the table? Radoslav will be wanting to tuck this one away.
Well, he does get the job done. Now 7 each.
Big 8 ball, Tim. Big 8 ball made. And, well, this couldn't be closer. It's going to be The German back to the table with his breaks, arguably not having the better of the breaks throughout this match, but in the last couple, he started to come alive a little bit more. Just take a look over at the other table. This must be Miriam's shot to take a first place in the women's final. And she has, taking a very important win over the Ukrainian Daria Saranchuk. She books her first place in the final. Will play the winner of Monika Zabek or Yasmin Ushan. Those matches and the second of the semi-final of the men's coming up at 2:30 our time, 4:30 local time. That's 1 hour and 10 minutes from now. You can also set your notifications on Pro Billiard TV. Not a bad time to get your 2 racks of break in front of you, Tim. 7-7, 2 racks needed to take this match.
Oh, and the scratch on the break. I mean, this match, I'm not sure if I'm the only one that felt this, but just from the beginning, how everything has been going, how could we not have a hill-hill match here? I mean, it has been going back and forth over and over. It's just, I would say it's made for it. And now this scratch, if BABICA runs out, Luca still has another break to come. And that's the one to make this hill-hill and Radoslav to break the balls.
I've only
First,
just
this
recovered.
rack, though.
I was going to say, I've only just recovered from our quarter-final matchup with Daniel Maciel and Viktor Fortunsky. That went all the way. I didn't think my heart could take it much more. It's certainly got that look about it, hasn't it, Tim?
Well, it's part of the gig.
Well, he's taking his time again. I do like it. Doesn't want to start bringing pressure from the shot clock. He's looking at the 7 as his opener. The 2 may need the 1 to be potted to free up for the bottom left corner. Aside from that, I kind of like the look of the solids, Tim. We'll need to take the 6 before the 4 as well.
Oh, looks like he's taking the 1 ball away. Could go 2 rails to pick up the 2. As you said, the 5 and the 6 would be nice to take those away quite soon to open up the corners. So he's
Gives
not
him
going to take the
options.
2 ball away. Does he like maybe a combination 3-5?
Would save him having to get back to shape on this 3, Tim. That's not a bad call. Big shot to take on. He's not. Maybe looking to get position on that from the 6. Could just float up now towards the 11. Do like going for the 3 next, coming back for the 4.
Yeah, definitely the 3 ball now one of those balls that are, or that is not so easily to get shape on. Just a small area to get on the 3. So definitely I like to go 2 rails in between the 3 and the 11 ball now. Oh, he is kind of stalling on that 3-ball. He's making me nervous there.
And to get shape on it next, you think he's going to take a piece of the 10. So he might need to go down for the 2 here. Oh, he might have just held for the 3. I think he has done. Nice. I don't know, would you take the 2 first here?
Yeah, you kind of have to, because after 3-ball you're going to be pushed off the rail. And I mean, if you leave yourself, you have to leave yourself a bit more difficult 3-ball. Ooh, did he? He's still on the 3-ball.
He did not need to draw at all there. Maybe that was just the angle he had. Oh, he's swiping his glove up and down his cue like it's on, Tim. Big shot. Needs to make sure of it. Oh, nice pace. Taking one against the Luca break. Only needs 2. Both players only need 2 racks there. What an important rack for Radoslav BABICA. This 8 to get to the hill, Tim.
Yeah, it does seem to be moving a little bit on it, and the time is running out.
Good spot, Tim. Good spot indeed. Oh, I did sense a bit of shaking in him when we had a couple of close-ups on his bridging hand earlier. As you just watched that, clearly was not happy, Luca, with the result from that break. But it does look like Radoslav is battling with his nerves, and he's winning that battle at the moment. He's on the hill. And Luca will be breaking to save his tournament life and bring us to a hill decider. Full credit to that man sat there. Now, Luca has scratched twice. He's managed to launch the cue ball off the table. He's, by all accounts, not had a very good day at the office in the breaking department. What can he muster up here, Tim?
Oh, he has to. Back against the wall. Oh, there you go for a break. That's exactly the one he needed.
Does the 11 go? If that 11 doesn't go, he's got to deal with a couple of problems. Oh, and look at that. It's not immediately obvious, Tim. I still kind of like going stripes. If he plays the 5 onto the 10 here, it's open table. That will be a legal shot. Oh, he's tried to come down and maneuver that 15 straight away. He's failed.
Well, he is on the
11,
15 to the left center, so yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, actually. I mean, the solids, he had the 3-ball laying to where he could open the 4 and the 2. So did he only go for the stripes because of where the 5-ball was laying? I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, we have a bit more time to think about the pattern and everything. They're on the shot clock, so... And don't forget, it's so easy to be on the side rail watching and judging because, well, they feel the heat. They're almost in the final of a EuroTour event. That's probably something that 3% or 5% on this planet have never been able to do. So, or only 3% of the players can.
Watch this, Tim.
Oh dear.
Ah, anything but finding that gap. And a wry smile from the young German. This shot not only needs to be... Well, he needs to hit the 11 ball. He needs to hope that either it's potted or he doesn't leave Radoslav in. And I've got a feeling that's going to be a difficult order. Well, after that break, you'd be a fool for Radoslav to think he was going to get back to the table. He has indeed got back to the table, and he's picking that 2 off underneath that cluster. He's made another one though, Tim.
You gotta be honest though with where the 11 ball has landed for Luca. BABICA, he can play so many kinds of saves that just too much control. He could make the 6 and play a stop shot on the 3 ball and hook Luca. I mean, he doesn't have to play stupid and just go completely full aggressive to go for the win. And I understand he wants to close it out, but he's got more pawns on the board than his opponent. Well, he's giving it a nudge, so I guess he's still wanting to go. Steep cut on the 1. Has to be careful with the scratch.
This is very thin. I would not put it past him to have turned this down, but he's going for it. Where's the cue ball going to run to, Tim? Ooh. Was a thin cut. Was a thin cut. Now, what will Luca decide to do here? Something inside me says he needs to really go for this.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way back when your opponent has all his balls and you... Oh, that was so close.
Pace. That's what it looked like. Let's have a look on the replay. Oh. Any slower, you feel that had a chance of dropping.
Yeah, but he needed to make it and get the shape on the 8, which is just... Well, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but at that pace was just going to be so tough. So that means now the opportunity to close it out for the pole and yet make another insane run in the EuroTour event. Has done it many times, not just in 8 ball, also in other disciplines.
Well, for someone who's shown just a sense of nerves for the occasion, which is completely understandable, this is the ultimate test. My personal summary, I do feel that his breaks have been the stronger, and he's taken advantage of that better, but it's still come down to this. Ooh, nail-biting ending, Tim.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised he was taking the 5 ball early though. I kind of like the 3, run close to the 5 or the 7. So a bit more traveling. As you could see, so close to not hit the 8. That's another thing, you know, with this immense pressure, the decision making starts to go a bit wild sometimes, picking the wrong shots. But you're so focused on not missing anything, well, relative easy. And at least he gets to shoot for the match. This is to make it through to the final. We will have another semi-final coming up in approximately an hour, so make sure to stay tuned at Probability TV. We will see you guys soon. I think this might be over. No, he's missed the 8.
Oh,
Did he hook? Did he hook Luca there?
a twist.
What did he just do? Why did he hit it so hard as well? Oh, yeah, Geth. I think he might be able to make this 11. We're going hill. We are going hill 8-8. This is unreal.
Wow. He did it on a couple of side pocket pots as well. And we were asking ourselves why so hard. Doesn't matter, Tim. We are going hill. And wow, I have to say, 2 shots ago you wouldn't have picked this being the situation it is. Won't get any closer. And it will be Luca with the break. Wow. What a turn up.
Is it Luca with the break? Are you sure?
I'm trying to remember now. I was just...
I thought it was
no, because he
Radoslav had the
scratched
leg.
off the break. Yeah, he scratched off the break in the last one. Of course, Luca did. Yeah, we're at evens now.
Yeah, so
Good call, Tim.
I mean, obviously, BABICA needs to stay in the game, you know, keep his head in the game. Of course, he's missed the winning 8 ball, but he still does have another chance coming up right now. I mean, I would be ecstatic if I was Luca right now in the chair. I mean, how did he fade that previous rack? No one knows. Everything comes down to this break. Yeah, he makes one. None of the usual suspects though, but I don't think he's gonna care at all. He's got a shot, plenty of options. Cue ball center of the table. Now there is somewhat of a cluster around the 8 ball Geth, and that is going to make him choose the solids, I feel.
Agreed. And something you were alluding to in a couple of his breaks earlier with the cue ball just coming down onto that short rail this time, kept great cue ball. So he's got much better options out there.
Yeah, the only other balls though is he needs to take away the 3 ball right now to make sure the 2 ball does go in the bottom right corner as well later on. And I kind of feel like the purple 4 doesn't really have too many options to go. So maybe he can go there right now. That's what he's played. I like this a lot. This is a good choice.
Yeah, that 4 needed to go. Didn't have many pockets available at all. This is a great start for Radoslav in this final rack. It's going to be all about just developing that 6 at some point, if there is no available pocket for it. Well, I actually don't mind him falling on the 2 here. I think he would have liked to have had shape on the 7, maybe able to nick the 7. But where the purple 12 stripe is, it blocks off the 2 to that top right corner. It's very delicate maybe. For this blue 2, I would suggest going for the bottom right corner rather than the side pocket, Tim.
Oh, I'm not even considering this into the center. I mean, someone actually, when I was younger, someone taught me that, you know, when you go from the second diamond on the short rail towards the side, everything on the inside of that, you can still play into the side. Everything laying outside of that, you either have to play very soft into the side pocket or just play to the corner. But now on these tables, I have adjusted that area because I'm not a big fan right now. I see too many of them go wrong. So this is a tricky shot. Has to do a lot here with the 2.
Oh, perfect
Actually,
for the 5.
He is on the 5. Now, does the 6 ball go to the bottom right if the 5 ball's gone? He's shaking his head though. But, I mean, he's still got all the chances. Could even leave himself a bit higher, play low left on the 1, and run into the 6 and the 8. I mean, there is still opportunities.
Luca sat in his chair. There is nothing he can do about the result of this rack while sat there. This is going to be the shot, Tim. I believe the 6 does go to the left side pocket, but I can't imagine it's going in many other places. If it does go in that bottom right, that would be his best option here.
Yeah, otherwise you'll have to go jacked up, run into the 6 ball, take your luck a little bit. I mean, not too wild, but make a contact, spread the balls, hopefully a diamond, you know, just push them out.
Oh,
yeah, I like the pace he's played it. And this is perfect. What a bump into the 6 and the 8. That is a set winner right there, if you can handle the nerves on these 2 balls.
Yeah, under that pressure, that was shot of the match for me, to be fair, Tim. What a great shot and an important crux moment.
Yeah, bit more of a cut though on this 8. Imagine the one he's missed before. That will be playing with his mind on this.
Oh.
Yeah, and he does still get the job done, but don't ask him how, because he's missed that 8 before. But it is Radoslav BABICA. Yeah, and you can see the relief there. He's managed to beat Luca MENN 9-8 in this semi-final. And we will see him back in the final. The final will be played at 8 p.m. We still have another semi-final to come very soon. In approximately 45 minutes we will be back. So stay tuned at Pro Billiard TV for plenty more action. Thanks to Gettin Davis and myself, Tim de Ruiter, would love to see you back very soon.